Here I'm going to talk about the Land Cruiser mirrors when they go bad. Right here, if this has ever happened to you, got a little tutorial on what that is and a way to fix it. Let's see how this goes. It's pretty easy to take apart. First, gotta get the mirror out. One screw underneath. Two hooks that the mirror hangs on. You can take a picture of the wires so you know how to put them back in. Just pull them out and the mirror's off. You got 4 screws holding the shell on, plus one more screw on the side. Back off. Then here's our problem. The spring here is what holds it in place. This clip is supposed to slide on this post and keep that spring down, but it wears out and just pops the clip up and then no spring. So I've made a little ring that I can put around there with some set screws to hold that spring down in place. And I'll show you how that goes. So I drilled out the spacer ring for the mirror fix. It's this part that gives up right there that lets the spring fly off or pop off. I'm going to drill set screws, so I'm going to either dimple or drill those holes all the way through to give it, and then put set screws in it so that'll hold it together once I put the spring in compression. So I'm bending the little tab down right there and here, just to make it easier to center up the ring, because it wants to slide off that tab. I want to get it more centered, so I'm just bending it down to make it easier to position that. Doesn't really take much, just a little bit. So I was having a hard time clamping it down so I could tighten it up. There's the assembly. I mean, you can do this while it's on the car. And just the important part is to line up the holes. Like the short side needs to be down, the skinnier dimension. But we want to line it up with the hole going this way, and then a hole going that way with the post. So I'm going to drill through that. So the set screws, I'm not going to tap into that, but I want the hole there so the set screw can have a little bit of metal to go into to hold it firm. So I have it compressed together with the C-clamp to compress the spring. You can actually twist the clamp and it will spin the collar a little bit to get where you want it. Make sure you don't compress it all the way, because then it won't work. So I'm gonna kind of mark the holes, see where I got it, and then look at drilling them through. can drill all the way through. I checked where the hole is. It looks really nice. Then when I do the set screws up, they'll have something to bite into. The other direction. Then I drilled these a little bit smaller first. So I'm just boring them out. Alright, I will tap that, and that'll be something I can actually make. And anybody can just use it, just clamp it down, drill through the holes. I might drill an extra set of holes so we can have a hole for drilling and then a hole for threading the set screws. Yeah, I'll get the tapped out and see how it goes. Here's the post with the holes. So the set screws, they're not going to thread into that, but they will seat into those holes. So it'll have some extra holding force. You know, it's not just pinching the set screws down by friction. They'll actually be able to go into those holes a little bit to hold it more secure. That spring is a very strong spring. Like, it's like a valve spring. It seems like it's pretty strong. Here it is, tapped out with the set screws. So I'll put it back together, run down the set screws, and that should hold it in place. I'm going to throw a little grease on the surfaces where the little ball detent rides, and then the shaft. Now the fun part, holding all this together with a pretty freaking clamp on it. Didn't really bend that tab down enough on the spring. Still catching it. There, I can slide around and not bind up. Took the set screws out to make sure I got it lined up with the hole. I think it's off just a little bit. My light turned off for some reason. I don't know what's going on here. So I have it clamped back down after I drilled it out. I'm just trying to look through to make sure I line up that hole so I can run that set screw in and hit that hole. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm going to wiggle a little bit, push the drill bit through, and just make sure it lines up with that hole. So I for sure got 2 of the holes lined up. That hole there. And that hole there, you can see all the way through to the other set screw. So I'll run those set screws in and then we'll see how it goes. All right, here it is attached. See, it's not, I didn't get perfectly centered, which I wish, but that's why I pre-drill it, because those set screws are poking into the holes in the post. It's holding the spring. There's a little bit of space in the spring so it can still move. I'll show you that in a second. There it is. And it moves just like it should. There you go. And I built this one because this piece is off of the original vehicle. The other one I started the video on is existing, because this isn't the first time this has happened to me. I replaced it with one off a junkyard, but it did the same thing. So hopefully now this will be a permanent fix and I won't have to do it again. Got the old post off. Sticking the old one, original one, back on. There's a screw on the back of the plastic that holds it down. You don't need to even take it off if you're not replacing yours. I'm just putting the original piece back on. There's a little plastic cover plate that goes down here, so make sure that gets taken off so you can pull the wires out of the way. You can pull them out from here, then you don't have to worry about drilling them or anything. They're all out of the way. Middle, arms go through. Or actually from front, so hold it. You want to put it on here. The screws just go through the metal bracket, through the first housing piece, and thread into the back panel piece, or the front, I guess, of the mirror. Pretty sure it was the brown, black, and red for the wires. Again, I'd just take a picture of it. I did. I just slot back in. full little holders, not doing good. And the two loops on the mirrors, just hang on to the little hooks and they'll be good. Hang that, and then you get the one screw on the bottom that screws into right there, and it'll be done. So I had to shut you off for a minute, but here we go, fully installed. Driving, can fold in, back to normal. It can even go forward. And there we have it. All right. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope it helps you out. I'm looking at actually making some of these to sell, so I'll be looking for that on my little website. I'll put a little link on it below. Thanks for watching. Bye.